first was like, but yeah, they changed it for some random number of
Man.
episodes in season 5, and it was just not right.
Peter Thomas gives me hope because he sounded really young.
And he was like at 80.
And he's like, well, he died in 91.
No way I can stay at the same level I'm at now. I'm fired up.
Instead, I'll just go by
You have everything.
Kakarot.
You have everything else cool.
Yeah, that's true. All the things I ever wanted cool that I never had have been completely made up for
Okay.
by portraying Goku.
So let's get started. This is absolutely, I can't even think of the words, but this opportunity is amazing to be in front of such an iconic figure.
I thought you were talking about an opportunity for me. I'm like, well, I've been doing it for a long time. I mean, it is an opportunity, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
Since 1999 to be exactly.
true.
So we're coming up on about 20 years.
My anniversary is officially in March.
Nice.
I know when I got the call. I don't remember what day, but I remember what month I got the call in '99.
He's the voice actor of King Kai.
That's true. Goku, King Kai.
Well, King Kai's will be really cool.
Oh, is that what you want?
No.
That would be hilarious. No, let's do that. No,
Okay.
seriously, no. What do you think King Kai's motivations are? His activations? You know, what does he do in his spare time?
In the foreseeable future.
Goku from destroying my planet. My spare time.
Any chances that he slims down and actually gets in tournaments or anything,
Yeah.
or he
Can
just
he fight? Like, I want to see him do some Yoda stuff. Like,
Yeah, right.
Remember when Yoda was all badass suddenly?
yeah
Those Star Wars movies that sucked.
yeah right yeah because no one.
But he was badass in them. I will say that he made those movies. Like Yoda running, flipping around with a lightsaber. That was pretty cool.
But if anyone doesn't know, this is Sean Schemmel.
Oh, yeah,
He's the voice of the iconic Goku. If you don't know who Goku is, I really don't have words
Then
for
you haven't driven past this building yet, where they have a giant Goku, Vegeta, Dragonball Super
Everywhere.
movie banner.
Oh God, let's first of all, you should be.
Oh, no, well, we know. You're the
Congratulations.
interviewer. You should do this. You should do like, so how you, and then you do this thing. Like
Yeah,
you did in
we
the
can do that.
70s. No,
Okay,
you gotta
cool,
you
cool.
gotta do you.
All right.
Otherwise, I'll keep that mic. I'll just keep talking.
We're here at San Diego Comic-Con 2018.
Yeah.
First of all, yesterday the panel for the Dragon Ball Super Broly movie really chills went through the whole building. It's such an amazing thing that we're talking about a new Dragon Ball movie. 2018 will be the release for Japan. 2019 is the U.S. release, which is also like an eye-opener there because when Resurrection F came out,
Yeah, we had to wait.
We had to wait.
And I think the reason that is, I don't know, this is not official, but my guess is that we would love to do it at the same time, but Christmas is a difficult time for a movie like this, which is a popular movie, but is not maybe going to be as popular as some of the big blockbusters they're going to try to put out there, and finding theater space or being able to get it in there, convincing theaters to show, because we had some success with Resurrection F, but we certainly haven't done, 800 million at the box office yet, so theaters are like, they maybe not want to give us the space. But in January, when they cleared out, they're like, we'd love to have your Dragon Ball movie in, which will bring in fans when there's downtime. And I think January is actually a perfect time because, you might go to the movies at Christmas and et cetera. Well, usually you're with your family and doing stuff. But in January is like, hey, I'm on vacation. Let's talk about the movies, Dragon Ball's on. Let's do it. So I think January is actually a really great point to do the movie.
I don't know. I feel like there's success everywhere. I mean, Battle of Gods was released exclusively in IMAX, and it sold out. I've seen it 3 times.
Oh, thank you.
It was such a culture shock being, first of all, that it was in an IMAX theater. So many fans grew in there, and it just felt revolutionary because I've always had to watch them on, DVDs and so on. But to actually see them in the theater, and then we're now about to go for our 3rd release now in the theater. It's just it's an amazing thing. But Goku will be going up against Broly, the return of Broly.
So is everybody else, looks like.
Yeah, actually, that was actually an eye-opener, too, when you got the graphics saying Frieza versus Broly. But
I thought Frieza was gone for good, finally. How'd they get Frieza out of back from hell, I wonder, when they sent Frieza back at the end of Resurrection F? Like, I wonder.
I always had questions where was Cell, too, by the way.
Yeah, where was Cell?
I have to pitch
Maybe he's too arrogant. He's perfect. I don't need to do this fight. I'm perfect. I don't know.
I have to pitch the idea that I think Cell was the better choice for... Yeah, sorry. I have to pitch the idea that I thought Cell was a better choice for the Tournament of Power, considering that he had his own tournament. He actually was stronger.
That might be, yeah. I can see that. Yeah, that might make sense. I haven't got there yet. So I'm up to 70 something. I just finished the episodes where Master Roshi sends Goku and Krillin to go get some magic herb in exchange for Master Roshi's porn collection. Hey, man, that's in the Japanese script, so I'm not getting in trouble for saying that. Or I don't know if they use the word porn, but it was like nudie mags or something. I don't know. It was really surprising. Well, not surprising because it's Dragon Ball, but surprising to me, seeing a Super hadn't really done anything like that up until that point, or maybe they had. I don't know. I don't memorize all the episodes, but we just finished that up, and maybe 1 or 2 episodes past that is where I'm at, and then we're gonna hit it heavier though when I get done, because I got 2 weeks off from touring, and then I'm gonna be in the studio quite a bit because I'm already getting texts from emails from my agent going, okay, we gotta get more days in. I'm like, all right, that's fine, I'm good, I'm ready. So I'm getting ready for Ultra Instinct.
So I do have to ask you that one thing I observed about finishing the whole series of Super. Krillin has been legitimately Goku's best friend through thick and thin. Yeah. And I want to know, is there someone in your life who also mirrors that same character?
Well, you got to be careful because you don't want to offend your other friends. From the perspective of me and Sonny, the voice of Krillin, it is interesting. I'll talk about it from the perspective of just me and Sonny's friendship. Now, Sonny and I have been friends since we've been on the show. But I wouldn't, just like he wouldn't call me his old school homie. I didn't go to high school with him. I didn't go to college with him. I didn't spend our childhood with him. What I do think is very interesting about Sonny is, and we talk about this a lot. Every time I see him at a con, we have such incredible comedic riff timing together and ad-lib skills together. We'll sit, and if I call him up and I just start some random thing, and we'll be on the phone for a couple hours, not even talking about anything, just ad-libbing a joke. Yeah. When I was a kid, I'll try to tell this story, okay? Because I try to make it entertaining, and this is a pretty funny story. So when I was a kid, we was at a daycare center, and I don't know if it was my idea or some other kid's idea. There was another kid we didn't like, so this is a bit of bullying, so I don't recommend this, but at the time it was funny. Man, I think I came up with a game called Kicky in the Butt. And the idea was you just put your arms behind your back. Look, I was like in 3rd grade or something, or 2nd grade. You put your arms behind your back, you get in a circle, and then you chant Kicky in the Butt. And then you run around trying to kick each other in the butt. And then we just used that as an excuse to gang up on the kid whose butt we wanted to kick. Then he cried, then we felt bad, then we were nice to him, I think. Because I got my butt kicked too. But me and Sonny spent an hour at an airport. We bumped into a young fan at an airport. He must be a young teenager. And we were just seriously talking to him as if we had been members of the Olympic Kicky in the Butt team. And how we won the Olympics in '76, and then due to a controversy, they shut down Kicky in the Butt as an official sport. We went into great detail for like an hour on Kicky in the Butt. And the kid's like, I'm like, no, it doesn't exist. What are you talking about? But as far as old, let's see. Been through me, through thick and thin. I mean, that's a deep question.
And the premise behind the question is obviously once you get to the point is that there was doubters, and there was doubters that people feel that Goku could not rise for the challenge. But no matter what, and Krillin, hasn't been the strongest in the series, but he looked at Beerus at times and Whis, and he challenged Vegeta at times, but he never lost faith in his best friend. And I thought it was such a special moment and amazing writing. So yeah, is there anyone that that's first person that comes to mind, so we don't make anyone feel bad?
It's weird because I have like a bevy of people who there's and girlfriend's in a completely different category. She's. One of the beautiful things she said to me when I met her, I can't even talk to her. When I met her, she's like, I just want one thing. I just want you to be my best friend. It was really sweet. Yeah. And that's something I always wanted to hear from a woman when I start dating somebody, because it was kind of special to me. So that's really special. And she's been with me through the roughest times on Dragon Ball, my own personal life. Yeah. But I can think of my friend Brian Brown, who I constantly mock for talking like a robot, because he does. My friend Ralph Canepa, who I've known for a number of years. My friend, I'm trying to think of, I hate to do it because I have a lot of really great friends. And my Dragon Ball crew, they're my own like separate family. Like Chris Sabat and I, I would say even though he's not what's great about Chris is even though he's not an old school homie college buddy, and I know when he's with his homies, his college buddies, I'm like, okay, I get it. I know where I stand on this totem pole. But, and that's fine. It's cool. But, I can be a very difficult person to work with sometimes, and because I'm really particular and I'm really quick generally about multiple things, and so I get real frustrated real fast. And I also worked as an AD art director in New York, so I worked in a lot of different jobs, and so it's real easy for me to get frustrated when I walk into Best Buy and I can do their job better 30 seconds than they can. And then I start telling them, okay, well, you should be reading this stuff so you know about these products, so I'm not teaching you about the products. Every time I go into a store, I always know more than they do, always. And I'm like, what are you doing on your spare time? Why are you not reading manuals? So I'd be doing that. So Chris has got 2 gifts that make him suitable to be my friend. He's super patient. And he has a bad memory, and he will tell you that to your face. If he had a good memory, he'd probably hate my guts. But you know, I would not be on the show if it weren't for him. You know, in terms of just dealing with my ass, and Justin Cook, who's my brother on the show, Raditz. He's also my producer, and Funimation as a whole. But I'm talking about personal friendships, you know. And Sonny's always been there. But Sonny and I have our relationship's more like we're improv comedy buddies. Although I do consider him a dear friend. But he's got his old school homies also. And then I have one particular childhood friend from 4th grade that you know, there's a really beautiful story about that. We probably don't have time for it. So let's get some other questions probably. It's hard to answer because you start who has been with me through thick and thin.
Yeah.
And then you start getting mad if that person wasn't. No, I'm kidding. Then you start feeling grateful. Then you're like, okay, no, it's all good. I'm really appreciative when people can, you know, understand what I'm struggling with and allow me to, you know, continue to, you know, and of course I tend to be combative because I don't trust people, so I tend to be combative because if I can butt heads with somebody and then it's cool, I'm like, okay, now I trust you. It's almost like a caveman. You're doing a little bit of that. Yeah. I do a little bit of that intellectually. I do a little bit of alphaing, a little intellectually, just to see, you know, because I don't trust people, right? Yeah. And if they roll, and I've discovered, here's a real secret if you want to find out if somebody's a pro or not. If you go into a situation and you're trying to buy something or you're trying to do something, or you're getting a service, and you just call them out on their bullshit aggressively, like so you think they're a con artist or whatever. Yeah. If they get real defensive and angry, they're probably are con artists. But if they just call them, like, just knock down every one of your answers, no matter how, then you know, you know you can trust them. So I will purposefully walk into a place and just push buttons just to see what happens. Yeah. And I go, okay. All right, now I'll give you my money. Yeah. You know, like, you know what I'm saying?
It's absolutely the what you want to go to in a car dealership when you ask them, hey, can you take it down $1,000? They're like,
I remember telling a car dealer recently, I was looking at buying a Volkswagen Golf R, which is a really cool, fast Volkswagen. And the guy's like, well, we don't like to test drive them because, you know, and I know a lot about cars. And I was like, you like to test drive them because, well, you know, because they're sports cars. Like, that's bullshit. Like, if it's a Ferrari, I understand. So here's the deal. I'm coming there. I'm test driving both of them. Or I'm not coming. Well, we'll see. I go, no. Here's the deal. I'm driving these cars. I think it's a state law. Or I'm not going to come give you this. You know, that's really, I just lay it out. And then I just hung up the phone. And you keep arguing with them. Like, you guys, like, it blows my mind. So here's what I learned from buying cars. These are the general sales manager knows what he's doing. Everybody else underneath him is a dipshit. Generally. Right. And I don't really feel like I need to make any caveats of that, with the exception of one sales guy I met at a Volkswagen dealer who's actually really good. So I'll give him credit. But 99% of them aren't spending their spare time figuring out how these cars work. And you should if you're going to sell a car. So you study the car. You study what you're selling, like you study the character, you know, whatever. Anyway, so go ahead with your questions. I'm sorry.
One other question with that. So obviously you said a Volkswagen guy. So that makes you a turbo guy or a supercharger guy?
Well, I currently own a Nissan 370Z Nismo.
Okay.
Which is not turbo. Yes. It depends on the turbo lag, and it depends. Superchargers I tend to prefer better. Of course, they can brake. If it's got no turbo lag, I mean, I can be down with that. Some turbo lag can be fun. Yeah. You know, you push it and it's all of a sudden, woo, yeah. So, but I'm definitely, you know, I like cars that are real, you know, stiff, that dart like hummingbirds. Okay. So I want them to move around real quick. And I drove the Alfa Romeo 4C, which is awesome as hell. It's literally a Ferrari shrunk down, and it has totally shitty seats. So I think they're ending it this year and going to have a replacement next year. So I'm curious what they'll come out with. But I'm always reading car magazines.
Yeah, I drove it on Forza, if that counts for anything. I said I drove it on Forza, if that counts for anything. But I drive a Pontiac GTO.
Oh, wait, which one did you get? The 550 horsepower?
I have a 2005 400 horsepower. Well, it was 400 stock.
Too much, I had a car with 550 horsepower, and it was too much. I mean, I like it, but it's like, it's just, I like finessing a car up into, and I like canyon carving. So they need to handle real well because you go in the canyon, you're zipping around, you know, you get in your torque band and you're hanging out there and you're just, it's, oh man. I told my girl the other day, I said, I'm kind of getting into racing. Like, I might want to start like practicing how to amateur race. Like, I'm really getting it. And I'll practice on Forza with a steering wheel, and it will help. Like, it works. It works well. I'm like, wow. And I will, if I'm curious about a car, I will test drive it in the game and say, well, if I like this in the game, I might. And it's pretty accurate.
Really
the only thing you don't have is the weight and the pull and the feel of the car. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. We just talk about other shit all day. We don't talk about that. Don't even get me started on guitars. Okay, and watches especially. Don't get me started on watches. So I'm into that sort of stuff too. What else are we talking about Dragon Ball? Sorry.
Okay, yeah, a little bit more Dragon
I
Balls.
like talking about cars. I like talking about Dragon Ball. It's just that I've done it for 20 years. So.
Can I ask a random question? Is that cool? So I guess what's been like a moment that maybe like gave you like chills after recording or like goosebumps? You know, like a certain scene.
Well, it'd be really funny right now if you just went, you like on all seriousness, you got the mic and you go, "This is my show, bitch," and then you're like all sad and shit, and you go, "Nah, I'm just kidding." Like you were all serious as a heart attack. You know, that'd be hilarious.
I should do that.
They should like if you had the thought of the timing, you know,
Yeah,
it's like know your place, camera guy. No, that's a great question. Actually, the trailer just did that. Really gave me goosebumps. I'm trying to think. Oh, Battle of Gods, Resurrection F. I will destroy my world. I know, and I hate to say this because it makes me seem like I'm egoic, but I only remember the Goku moments. But I know there are some other character moments that have done that for me, particularly for Vegeta, and I'm trying to remember which ones they are, and I'm sure Chris could remind me.
Oh, it has to be when Bulma got smacked by.
But that's not a goosebump moment. It's more of it's a moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was it a goosebump moment for you?
Oh, it was because like see Vegeta.
I want to start interviewing interviewers.
Might as
what do you
well.
like about Dragon Ball?
We can do it.
That'd be great.
I mean, I think fans would agree that Vegeta hasn't had a fair cut through the series at times, and primarily in Resurrection F, he kind of feared Beerus because he was a god, and he knew he wasn't at that level. But when he disrespected his woman, to see him ultimately man up, like you said.
Vegeta is a better husband and father than Goku by a long shot.
Can we establish that?
Oh,
that
yeah.
Goku's a pretty bad father?
I think he's just clueless to their existence sometimes because he's always thinking about fighting.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that old adage when I watched this show about it's like marriages or something like that, and there was like weird marriages or something, and it was basically about the episode I saw was about this guy who loved his remote control. There was a fight between his wife and the guy's love of his remote control cars. And they were gonna get divorced because he loved remote. She's always in there with his cars. He's always in there playing with his cars. And I don't blame her. I mean, she's basically missing out on connection from her husband. And so I probably shouldn't mock her with that voice. But he was just like, and I think Goku's obsessed with his. I don't know that he doesn't love her or love his family. I don't think that's the case. But he certainly seems to. It's like, hey, will you stay home for your son's birthday? As long as no strong villains come, yes, I'll be there for the birthday. But if a villain shows up, or anybody strong, I'm gonna go fight him. So as long as we understand that, Chi-Chi, that'd be that would be a true statement, I think.
Do you think that anyone in real life could actually have a successful life as Goku?
Oh, the only way Goku could have a successful life on Earth if he was like that is if he actually rented out his crime fighting services. Like if he was like, look, I gotta go make money. $1,000, I'll save your life. And then we gotta wrap up. Okay, sorry. Okay, we gotta wrap up. Do you have one more quick question?
I not a question, but just I really appreciate the hard work that's been in the craft, and I was gonna ask you about. Could you set the tone for when you're in the booth, when the light is on, it's time for you to record? Can you bring us all into that moment?
It's usually what makes me comfortable. So I recorded most of Dragon Ball Z with my shoes off, but I don't do that much anymore, and I really wish I would. I have the lights low, nice and cold. I got a hoodie on. Okay. I chat with Raleigh a little bit, our head engineer, and currently directing Dragon Ball Super. And we go rolling. Usually there's a YouTube joke or story we talk about real quick, and then he just throws up the script on the screen. I get my headphone levels, and I'm like, it's now for the movie it gets a little more serious, but the acting's not any different. I think we're just a little nervous, because we're working on the movie, but we try to keep it consistent. You don't want to change your game right for the big thing because you could screw up the big thing. Right. You just gonna keep it the same, Right. So anyway, it's pretty simple. It's pretty straightforward. I like nice, dark, cold studios. Is what I like.
Also, Dragon Ball, the new Dragon Ball movie, Broly is Broccoli.
No,
Broly will be coming out in theaters January 2019. Sean Schemmel, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. No, you guys are awesome. Thank you. Good question too, by the way. Thank you, sir. Nice to meet you, sir.